Welcome, everybody, to thepowerofvoices.com. I'm Anna Marie, and my co-host, Rocky the Comic, is hanging with me, and our guest tonight is Mr. Dannon Green.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing tonight?
Hey,
fabulous.
It's good to be here. Good to be here.
Yeah, that good to be seen, as we say. Good to be
alive.
seen.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Mr. Green, welcome. I'm really thrilled because last week I missed you, and it worked out because
That's all right.
I was really sick.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I was on Sepulveda, just the Sepulveda in the valley.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know when you
Van
I was at
Nuys,
the wrong.
right?
Yeah, I was at the wrong 16
yeah, he was like the
address.
You said what's that area called? Shoot, I'm drawing a blank.
What?
Down,
Oh, in the valley. You said
Sherman
yeah,
Oaks or Van Nuys?
Yeah, you in the valley.
Yeah,
I was like, no, man.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I was right there, and I knew it was kind of different because I
Yeah.
kept seeing a lot of I saw little restaurants and I saw an empty lot where your address was. So
that's usually a clear sign.
yeah, I was hoping y'all would be doing better than that. So,
It
good.
could be. Now to give a little bit, because like I said, Rocky is most of the history of the show, being the background that he's a comic. Me, on the other hand, I'm the fan who is like riveted with the fact that for what you, in all due respect, to me, there's nothing harder in to do as comedy, especially in today's environment that we're living in.
Right.
And I mean, there's a lot of things about you, like you're not just only a comedian.
No, I'm not. No.
Some interesting things about you would be you have a background in other things. Like everybody, well, let me put it this way. Everybody thinks that comedians are just born, raised, somebody told them they were funny, they spent their whole life being funny, and then they got up on stage and they're no other entity of your life.
Right.
Not so.
Right. Not me. No, I went to college. Actually, I wasn't even trying to be a comedian. I wanted to be a computer animator.
What?
Own my own company, yeah.
Really?
So I have a master's degree in computer graphics from Ohio State. Well, computer animation from Ohio State.
Yeah, when I heard that about you, I was like, okay, were you going the Disneyland route, Pixar?
Man, you know what? Actually, Pixar and ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, because I have friends that work for them. You know, I was the first African American accepted into the program.
Dude, that's
at Ohio
cool.
State.
That's
first to graduate with a
man?
degree. Oh yeah,
That's really cool, man.
Yeah. So I was the first to graduate. Actually, the first to get an undergrad in the degree, and the first in the country to get a master's in computer animation.
Wow, so they put you on the brochure. They like,
they should have, but I was the first accepted at my undergrad.
Yeah,
and I did my undergrad in Iowa.
Wow.
Okay, because when they like to show that diversity, you know, they always have
they're gonna have me. Yeah. I was everywhere. First black kid. First in the program, first in the bathroom. You know, I was able to do everything first.
Now there's got to be a lot of people, because I'm sitting here going, and you gave that all up because I have an artist background. I'm not, and Rocky does graphic. I'm just an artist, but I understand what you're saying. All those accomplishments, and you decided, you know what? I'm funnier than I want to do this.
It wasn't a game plan. I was in college. Just a little bit about my background. I was in college. I was getting my master's in computer animation from Ohio State. At the same time, I was boxing. I have 2 Golden Gloves. I won the Golden Gloves twice. So I actually thought I was going to be a professional fighter. And then I graduated from Ohio State, and then I had Sugar Ray Leonard and them looking at me, their camp. Looking at me to turn me pro. And I got invited down to Sugar Ray Leonard's gym in Palmer Park, Maryland. And then I sparred a couple of days down there. Got my ass whipped and figured, education.
Career.
Yeah, luckily I got an education, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
So, but then what happened was my last year in grad school, my first year in grad school, one of my boys, he was, we used to go to this club in Columbus all the time. So what happened was, one night he came in late, and he was late. And I said, "Hey, why are we late? Every Friday after class, we would go to this particular bar and party." And he goes, "I went to a comedy show, man, with Tasha, with his girlfriend at the time." And then he goes, "Yo, man, I ain't gonna lie, man, you funnier than those guys. You should be a comedian." This was like my first year in grad school, and I said, "Man, shut the F up, man. I ain't trying to do all of that." Because,
We're not censored.
Okay, cool. I said, "Shut the fuck up."
Right.
I said, I was getting on to get my degree.
Yeah.
And I never thought about it again. And then my last year in grad school, I had just graduated. I was job hunting, and I was driving down the street in Columbus, and I saw on the marquee, it said open mic night. And I was like, fuck it, why don't we just try it? You know what I mean? Because everybody kept saying it.
Yeah.
And then, I went on stage I actually had put my name in a hat. And you had to, because they only took 8 comedians, right? And with like 16 comics there. So the funny thing is, if they didn't put my name that night, I may not even had,
The faith that you have.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Well, no, I may not have ever done it because they pulled my name that night. And the first time I ever went on stage, I got second place in a little comedy competition.
Wow.
And that was it. And then I got bit by the bug.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, because it's nothing like either something like that, an open mic, or like a little cash prize to go,
oh, yeah. Well, you know, back then, you know, if you got a free meal, you was good. You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? So, yeah.
Especially in them college days.
Yeah, especially for me, yeah.
What do you think about you, you know, your friends saying that you were so funny? I mean, you had to be hearing that a lot.
I mean, ever since I was a kid, I was funny. I always was good with people. But the funny thing about me is, like, I'm serious, but I'm funny. Like, when I'm around people that I'm comfortable with, I'm the dude. Or if I meet you and I'm feeling good about it, a lot of times I'm laid back and I'm watching everybody. But what happened in school was I was just the
light up.
I was the life of the party, man, until, you know, freshman year in college. I went out there. I went to Iowa. I went to a small school in Iowa, and I partied. And
yeah, because you're a Philly dude.
I'm a Philly boy.
That was a real culture shock then, huh?
Well, not really, because I used to live in New Hampshire for a couple of years. I had to do a little bit of travel. So, you know, the shock was only where, when I went out to Iowa, it was pretty much... I mean, there was only like 11 blacks at the whole school, and 10 of them played,
I was going to ask that.
10 of them played basketball.
Yeah, I'm hearing Iowa.
I mean, Iowa,
especially when I was out there. Yeah. Especially when I was out there. I was out there in '84. Yeah. So, you know.
A lot of blonde hair and blue-eyed, kind of,
it was good.
Polish, German.
Yeah.
So you slipped out of the crack academic of Philly, and then you're in Iowa.
Yeah, and it was the best thing for me. And I did it purposely. I could have went to college, and I could have went to school on the East Coast, and I could have went to Howard University and all that.
Yeah, where were you in New Hampshire? I just have to ask, being from Boston. Yeah.
I remember we talked about it. I told you I don't like Boston.
Yeah.
I had a bad experience in Boston. I told you that.
And that being said, I don't live there.
You were in high school when that happened, right?
Yeah. What happened was I lost my mom when I was younger. Yeah. I had to go move in with my brother. And my brother was living up in New Hampshire. So New Hampshire was cool. I mean, I moved in when I first moved. You gotta remember, I moved to New Hampshire in '81.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So when I moved there, it was 4 blacks in the whole high school.
Right.
And there were blacks in the city, but most of them were at Peace Air Force Base. There was an Air Force base up there. So, but the kids treated me great. But I just had a bad experience in Boston. I never liked Boston after that. But stayed in New Hampshire to my.
I mean, we can talk about it because I know, we're still dealing with it, and with the whole NFL thing. I know Anna Marie was mentioning that whole part with Trump now, and how race still is,
the bad thing about it. The bad thing about it was, my mom never taught me. She never taught us to be racist.
Yeah.
She cleaned houses for a living, and she cleaned white people's house and Jewish people's house. And she said, "Dan, never hate anyone." She said, "Just don't trust them." That's what she used to tell me.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's just life in general, right?
Yeah. So anyway, but when I moved to New Hampshire, the people were cool and I was good. But my brother took me down to Boston one time and dropped me off at a roller ring. I don't know what neighborhood I was in, but this shit was just crazy. And
I know exactly where you're talking about, and it was known for racial tension.
Yeah. And I was
huge.
And I was only like 15 years old. And it just turned my stomach in the city.
Yeah, because I've heard stories like that even out here in L.A. where it's like the skating ring was that it was kind of like that neutral spot between Bloods and Crips. So there's a lot of neighborhoods have like that kind of...
No, what he's talking about...
But in Boston is just racial.
Right.
For sure.
And I just, I had, because of that experience, I started talking to other people that did business in Boston, even as I got older, and... They were all said is that New Hampshire area, not New Hampshire, but that Boston area, that Massachusetts area was really bad. So
Chelsea, Dorchester,
and that's what actually I had a little beef on Facebook before because Mark Wahlberg, I did a movie with his brother, and
Donnie,
and he was cool, right? And then I heard about the story about Mark Wahlberg. He got a felony. He got 2 felonies for racially attacking blacks and Vietnamese. You know that because he's trying to get it. Yeah. So it really,
Wait a minute, you talking about back in the day?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. See, I didn't even know that.
Turn around and do hip hop.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. So but it just at the time it really turned my stomach because when you were a kid, and something like that happened. Well, it's not only that it's high school, but the thing is, all your friends were white.
Yeah,
like all my friends were white, and they were cool with me. So then I go down to Boston one day, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So
that's a real harsh reality.
Yeah, so it turned my stomach on Boston. It still does. And then, Boston, I knew people that did business in Boston, so the people like that. Then when Obama was in the White House, I remember when they had the Boston bombing. Mm-hmm. And here's a time when people could come together. And so I remember hearing this guy in Boston say, well, I hope Obama doesn't forget about, it was just like, He went racial.
He went
like,
there.
Man, you got people laying off the street. You know what I mean? And then what happened with the baseball player? That kind of let me know. And then you got to remember, and not to stay on it, but because the way the country is right now, Bill Russell was one of the greatest basketball players ever to play basketball. And it took him. The NBA made Boston Celtics go back and get him back in the fold because he would never go back to Boston because of how they treated him when he was playing for the Celtics.
Right.
That's why I don't understand how any black athlete could play in Boston.
Stories.
But it's just something that I got.
Well, no, I
agree.
agree. I agree with you totally. I've actually I've lost, shall we say, friendships. I moved to LA, and of course my my Facebook got a whole lot more diversified, shall we say. The white people want to know, do you not have any white friends anymore?
Yeah.
And to me, it was like the things that I don't even go there.
Yeah.
And then realizing when you're exposed to it and you look at people in a whole different light, where for me, like the NFL stuff. Yeah. Now, I understand.
But it relates to it.
It very much relates to that.
Just to stay on your point, it relates to it because... Think about it. You were living out there. You didn't have any really recollection, or it really wasn't bothering you because you were amongst people that you knew.
Right.
And then when you came out here and you became cool and not cool, but you meet African Americans, whatever, and then all of a sudden you put on your Facebook, then you say, "Oh shit, this is how the people are that I'm with because they really looked at you differently."
And I've never, and personally, and I will die saying this, I will never understand how you don't see souls and energy, and that I don't understand at all racism, and I'm related to racist people.
Yeah,
and it's an ignorance that I don't tolerate. And it's just something that there's. It's really sad because it's really a huge distraction.
Yeah.
Now I also understand that in the comedy sense, like to get your teeth into something, like I wish there was more of that, like how Chris Rock talks, how that, even the way Carlin talks.
Yeah, that's my style. And that's if you ever read my bio, I say the Black George Carlin.
I like that.
Because I really admired his work.
Yeah.
And his style. And it's the funny thing is it's a double-edged sword because you're like, racism is terrible, but then as a comic you be like, good. We got a lot of shit to talk about. You know what I mean?
That. That's an awesome
you know what I mean?
perspective.
So that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? So
that opportunity too.
Yeah. But I look at what's going on now. I told somebody today, this could all end. What's happening right now in the NFL and in America in terms of a lot of stuff could end in 1 week.
Easily. Especially if you stop kneeling and just stop playing.
Well, no, it's not even about the players. What I'm saying is this: if our government would go ahead and constitute a law that said, because people talk about the flag and they about the flag, it's about police brutality.
Yes.
It's about me being able to drive home with you or this man here.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah, or Jewish person, somebody going home and being able to say, oh shit, the cop behind me, am I going to be cool?
Right.
And if the government would make a law saying that, okay, you know what, if you're a police officer and you abuse your power and you kill someone and you whatever, not only you get fired, you won't get charged, and if you get charged, you're going to state prison, you ain't getting protected. You know what I mean? Then you would be. It could be ending a week because police talk about it's a hard job. Well, fuck it, don't do the job.
Right.
Every job. You know what I mean? If you can find something else to do, you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You have this thing too where for the first time in my life that it really hit home when I was looking at my friends talking about it, say Rocky or any of my black friends saying their reality, and I'm thinking, all right, as a woman. A police car. There was somebody doing fake police thing where they were pulling women over and women were getting raped.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
So there was this huge, this feeling of if the lights went off behind you as a woman, the fear would be incredible, right? What do I do?
Right.
And then to think about putting this perspective, then I'm hearing, and it was, if you remember, before the election, there was so much on my feed about the police crime on just blatantly, my mind just couldn't comprehend people getting shot and with all that.
Well, put it this way. Let's do what you talk about. Okay, you as a woman, the fear you had,
right?
The light bulb. Okay, so I'm gonna just put it this way: the fear that you have of being violated is the same fear that a black man has when that cop's behind him and he comes up. And think about it, back in the day when they came up, when you knew I'm gonna stop. It's gonna be a problem,
right?
I got stopped. I ain't never been arrested.
Even just stop and frisk.
Yeah,
you just got the right to just.
I have never been arrested. I've never sold dope, even though my brother was a drug dealer. I've never, I'm educated, never been in trouble, nothing. And I got stopped by the cops, and I've had some bad stops by the cops. And when I'm saying cops, not only white cops, but black cops. One of my worst stops was with a black cop. So that's why people have to understand, too, it ain't about color or with the color of the cops. It's about power with the black cops. And most of these dudes are dudes that grew up, ain't had shit going on while they was in school. They was probably nobody, you know what I mean? And they, it don't take much to be a cop, you know what I'm saying? 21 and be able to hold a piece. So, I tell people it's not about only color, but it's, like one time I'll give you an example. I got stopped in LA one time, and my registration, my tags wasn't good, and I knew it wasn't. But I already had gotten a fixer-up ticket from another officer who said, keep this in the car. Because you get a couple of days before you have to do it. So I'm in Hollywood, never forget, on Hollywood Boulevard. I'm off of Hollywood Boulevard on Highland, on Cahuenga. Cahuenga. And so the cop pulls me over, and she goes, a female cop. She goes, you don't have your sticker. Like, everything was cool, right? And I said, yeah. I said, yes, ma'am, I got a fixer-up ticket here. I just got stopped. But I'm actually going to go tomorrow and get my tags. Could have ended like that. Or gave me a ticket. First thing she goes, she looks at the car. So you don't have an Uzi here, do you? Now she pissed me the fuck off. You know what I mean? Because now you don't violated my mentality. You just insulted me. So, they do things. Cops are supposed to do things to de-escalate, but they actually escalate problems.
Yeah, provoking you.
Yeah,
right?
But because of that, like I said, the problems that we have in the United States right now could really be solved. You know what I'm saying? It really could be. It could be solved easily. The NFL didn't have to go. They didn't even have to go through what they're going through right now. If last year, when Kaepernick took the first knee, one of the owners or some of the owners came out and said, "You know what? We got a problem. We understand we have a problem in the country, and we respect the fact that he's kneeling, and we're gonna not one. Even today, most of the people will still say, talk about police brutality.
They're making it about the flag, which is
Even old boy today, the coach from and Pete Carroll, and he is some support, but he still couldn't say we know we got problems, but he still couldn't say police. They won't say the police. They won't say what the problem is. And so the people that are laughing at everybody right now is the police. The police are laughing at everybody. They're laughing at Trump. They're laughing at the NFL. They're laughing at us. Because everybody's talking about Trump. Everybody's talking about the NFL. Not one motherfucker is talking about the police.
Right. Which is now, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Is it me or once Trump was elected, it's very rare now. Did they stop shooting black men?
See, here's another thing too, and I've gotten to some major discussions with some of my black friends because I try to
actually, if we break it down, Colin started it while Barack was still in office.
Yeah, you're right, exactly.
So it wasn't a race thing,
right? It wasn't
from that presidential perspective.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem that I've had with some of my black friends because I try to tell, and when one of my boys, he told me, and he kind of agreed. But I said, look, I truly don't believe he's racist. Now I know it's wrong. I believe he's a businessman. Because businessmen don't see color. They don't care about you. People say, well, he wouldn't rent to Puerto Ricans and blacks in New York. Well, he got the properties high in New York. He ain't trying to rent to nobody that he feels is going to take it down. Is that racist? Yes, but that's controlling his money. Back in the day, nobody ever said Trump was racist. All the black people hung with him, from Tyson to the rappers. So I'm not agreeing with what he's doing or saying. Right. I'm saying I don't see him as that. I've met Trump before. I met him. And guess what? He wasn't racist. He's arrogant. He's a big, arrogant man. Right. He shook my hand, didn't even look at me. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm like, I'm down here, motherfucker. You know what I mean? But the problem is that because of Trump and what he's saying, the narrative it's easier to change the narrative. So everybody's saying, well, since Trump is in the White House, this has happened. No, we've been getting killed.
Yeah.
Police,
staff,
beat down way before he came in. I'm not agreeing with him by any means.
Right. You know what I mean? The videos kind of like, I'm like, what happened to it was constantly on my feed.
Yeah.
Okay, there was shootings, there was this. After the election.
You gotta remember, but who was in the White House?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Do you see that as now why that all quieted down?
Well, it's not really quieted down because here's the difference. When Barack was in the White House, here's the problem. People talk about, the White House is not being respectable. Well, they didn't even respect Barack when he was in the White House, and he acted more presidential than probably any president we might have had. And like I tell people, Barack Obama was the cleanest brother in the world.
Right.
The cleanest person in the world.
Right.
Because they turned every stone, every grave.
Even like you said, in that office. Because we've seen other presidents, JFK, whoever else.
No, but JFK wasn't clean.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying Barack was clean.
More of all the presidents we've known.
Right.
He's probably been the most straight-laced. He had to be.
And so, you won't see that until history's written.
Yeah. So what happened was now you have everybody's mad. The police are mad. So, and then what happened was, you got to remember, Barack came in, what, in 2007 or 2008, right? Mm-hmm. So, they still pissed about OJ. So they're like, hey, really, all that shit holds on.
Right.
And what happens now is that you got all of these cops pulling it. They were shooting all of these brothers at a high rate, killing them. And the thing about it, nobody was being charged. Nobody worried about it. So now Cap takes it.
And that's the main thing.
Yeah. That's the thing is, it's blatant.
Right.
So anybody that can't see something that's blatantly happened, they don't want to see it.
Because it's like, all right, at least have your day in court. They never make it to court.
Well, and then when they do make it to court, it's a judge jury. See, they got the right as cops to go, I want a trial by jury or to be judged by the judge. So the judge hears all the evidence, and then he makes the final decision. Well, fuck, are you going to put a cop in jail if you were a judge? Most likely you was a lawyer that worked with the cops, and if you was a lawyer at one time, you might have been a cop.
Right, and do with the last judgment that was made.
So I mean, think about what just happened with the last one in St. Louis.
That's what I'm
saying. And that was a case in 2011.
Right, and that was before a judge.
Yeah,
and for the most part,
and Barack was in the White House.
Right, but you, as a person looking at all this, like I look at the people that I have that. Like that, the white friends that are like don't see what this is about.
Who derail it? You got to remember, they see it.
Well, they don't care.
They don't care because
there's no personal connection. They've never had this experience with a cop.
Let me tell you something. They see it, but they don't want to see it because if they see it, then they got to tell the truth. And if they tell the truth, then they got to go back and deal with everything that they deal with. They got to deal with their own communities. See, if you cool. Say you're a person that you cool, you're not racist, but you live in a community like you did in Boston, that you knew people around there didn't like black people. But if they got to start seeing it, guess what? Now they got to start looking at themselves. They got to start looking at their friends. Yeah. They don't want to do that.
No, they don't.
So the best way to do it is to act like they've been telling us for years. Oh, you guys are overreacting. You know what saved us?
Wow.
What we on right now? Facebook Live.
Right, for all the film.
Because if not,
because it wasn't until Rodney King was like where we had some actual footage where you go.
But even with Rodney King, they was reversing it. Look, but we was hitting him, but we was hitting him. Yeah, he wouldn't get. Yeah, and guess what? They won. So now, but you go back all of these cases, and like I tell people,
but as far as trying to get people to understand what was going on. Black people had been talking about, police brutality or driving while black. It's like it couldn't resonate until at least we had some footage, is what I mean.
Let me tell you something. The white people really don't see any type of situation like that. Those who don't want to see it, unless it happens to someone they know or they can identify with. So what happened in Minneapolis had to have happened, I hate to say. Because they killed that brother in cold blood with his girl and his daughter in the back.
Right.
And this dude was liked by the community and the school he worked at, right? So, of course, that cop gets off.
And it just goes away.
Yeah, but then what happens? They shoot that white lady, right? You remember the white lady in Minneapolis came to the car, she had called for help, whatever, and they shot her. A black cop shot her. You ain't heard nothing about it. Mm-hmm. Dad, you have not heard one bit about that.
Wow.
Because that government probably got to her family. She was Australian. And said, probably paid her off something fierce. Because they haven't...
Do you know, I mean, like, in the comedy standpoint, like I've seen a lot of black comedians do that.
Fat bruh.
That getting caught being pursued by the police. Like a lot of the black comedians have taken that, and they've talked about that, doing their comedy thing as far as like bringing that to the comedy realm of what's in the headlines as far as like and it is your truth being what's funny.
Right.
And I've seen some brilliant.
Carlin was like great about that.
Right. See, here's the difference.
I wonder what he would say about all this.
Oh my God, the reality of it. I have material that I do about it. Here's the difference, though, and this is what I argue about with comedians. You have comics, and it's not their fault, but you have comedians that talk about white people but never live with them. See, I always feel like you have to really kind of be able to experience these things to be able to talk about it. I've lived on both sides of the spectrum. You know what I mean? I grew up in Philadelphia where from 2nd grade to 6th grade, we was getting chased by the white boys back and forth to school because we had to go by this church.
Wow.
And this is where they stayed to go to school in Philly. And then I moved to New Hampshire, and people cried when I left. You know what I mean? Like, you can come stay with me my last year. And then I moved to Iowa, and I'm president of all my classes and vice president of my student government association, and all the kids were white. They voted for me. So it lets you know.
So you don't do that. You don't generalize.
No. I deal with everybody on a personal basis,
and which I wish more people would.
If you, I don't have a problem with a white man and go, man, white people be crazy.
Yeah.
See, white people do that.
Yes,
white
they
people
do
that. If a white woman gets mugged or a white man has a problem with one black person, he don't like black people from now on. Well, in our case, we just go, black people go, what happened? Motherfucking white boy was tripping. And we be talking to another white boy telling them. You know what I mean? Because we don't take it personal. We don't make it a society thing. Unless it's a situation like what happened in Virginia or you dealing with the Klan or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever catch yourself overcompensating? I've done it on occasion where it's just like, they say black people don't tip, so I make sure I tip. Like, do you ever, when you're in these different environments?
See, I don't have that problem. Know why? Because I used to be a fine dining waiter.
Yeah.
So I used to be a waiter. I understand.
Same here. I was a host. I was like, you appreciate good service.
Here's the difference with me.
Yeah.
You give me bad service, I'm not tipping you.
I'll still tip.
So
not
I'm
as
tip
much.
you, but you ain't. But what I'm saying is this: if when I was a waiter, I was a waiter at Red Lobster before. I was a fine dine waiter. I have been waiting about 4 different places.
Right. So,
they tell you within 2 minutes you should be at that table. That means if I'm at a table over here, and actually within 30 seconds, I should say to you, "Hey, I know you guys are here. Give me a second. I'm gonna go finish this table."
Acknowledge me.
Now,
my mother would have liked you.
Right. Yeah. That's
restaurant owning family.
Oh,
over here.
okay. Yeah. So because that happened. I don't have to overcompensate because I know what I know what I should be expecting.
Right. So basically, what happens for all three of us is like, and I have to admit, I mean, the idea of being in that realm of life, any job that you've never done, you don't appreciate till you do it.
Yeah.
But you also understand, like, when you get just straight out shitty service.
Yeah.
It's like, could you just make an effort?
I don't overcompensate. I don't not tip.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, see, this is what I do.
I'm not going to tip you great for bad
But this
service.
is what I do. If I'm and I'll do this. If I got good service, I say, hey, can I speak to your manager? And I can see their face getting nervous. And when the manager comes over, I say, hey, this person gave me some excellent service.
Awesome.
That's what I do.
People are so quick to criticize.
Yeah. You see,
that's awesome that you always said that.
Here's the thing about life. If you are confident in yourself and you know what kind of person you are, you should never have problems giving someone a recommendation or commending someone, because that goes a long way. You see what I'm saying? Right. That person may be having a fucked up day.
Yeah.
And then I just said to them, man, you're a great waiter, or whatever, and they go, damn, okay.
Being acknowledged and being seen. I mean, in sales they say one of the greatest things you can say to somebody. You can say to everybody is their name.
Right.
True?
Right, exactly.
I mean, for whatever that is, as far as like when I to show respect, when I get a waiter, I'll say, "What is your name?"
Yeah.
If they don't have the hey, I'm Julio tag on.
Right.
Just so I know who I'm speaking to.
But just think about that. If we all dealt with each other on that level in life.
Yeah.
See, the thing is that the problem and I have a lot, and trust me, believe me, I got gang of issues with black people. I got gang of issues with how we act. Because I think in some cases we put ourselves in these positions. You know what I mean? You got to be smarter. You got to, my mom used to tell me, some people, they don't have couth about themselves.
Right.
Which means they don't know how to be in the moment.
Right.
They come in here and you have motherfucker loud as hell knowing that we're on a radio show. You know what I mean? So instead of just coming and chilling for a second and going, okay, when I know I get a chance to talk, whatever. Or even when you're out. I've been out to some restaurants.
We call it home training for the South.
You know how it is. Yeah,
yeah.
You have somebody in a restaurant and they louder than everybody. It's like they the only motherfuckers in the restaurant.
Yeah,
it's like,
and then white people want to look at you like, I don't know this.
Yeah. They looking at me. Yeah.
Do you? I mean, as far as like from what you said, your background, and I'm trying to, you have a very a deep passion about issues,
right?
And to be able to translate that into comedy. That's something that's the art of what comedians do. And, like I said, people see you as clowns and all this, but the intelligence, I mean, if George Carlin didn't point out the intelligence, the degrees he had and what he did, and if you're using that same type comedy, you're able to get things across to people. They're laughing at it, but in the same respect, they're thinking.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, see, here's the thing about me when it comes to racism. The reason that it bothers me, because I'm not that way. Right. See, when you ain't that way,
yes, it bothers you, man.
If you have a person that racism doesn't bother you, black, white, whatever you are, that's because you don't give a fuck. You could care less.
Right.
But I've had white people help me and take care of me. So I'm saying that's why I'm not racist. I've never been that way. You know what I'm saying? But what happens with me is I've always been a very serious person. But when I'm on stage, I'm a whole different character.
Right. I saw some of you stand
up. But the thing about it is when I'm on stage, I'm still thinking. And my whole thing is, like I tell people, I never want to alienate my audience. Because a comedian, as you know, we're nothing without an audience.
Right.
So I'm not in there to try to beat you up. I may talk about you a little bit. By the end of the night, you're going to be my friend, though.
Yeah, it's like, for me, I try to figure out how can I make you laugh about yourself, not like at you or have others laugh at you. Like, I want you to laugh with me.
What would you say was one of your worst experiences on stage as far as like knowing the audience or not knowing the audience? Learning, I guess.
I had a couple of experiences on stage. One, and unfortunately, both of them were, one was racially motivated. I first started doing comedy in Columbus. And when I started doing comedy, I didn't even curse. I started in the white clubs. So, in the white clubs, which was great, they teach you, they don't teach you, but the white boys don't curse a lot. Especially, don't work blue. Exactly.
Okay, what
exactly, don't work
really?
blue. So anyway, I'm on stage at this club in Columbus, Ohio. I'll never forget it. And this white guy and this girl came in late. And I go, so I'm joking. I go, hey, so what I'm probably 5 minutes into the show. I'm only probably 6 months into comedy. And I go, hey, what are you doing late? And I say, hey, girl, what you doing with a guy like that? You know what I mean? People start laughing. I'm just cracking jokes. And the white boy goes, I don't believe they're letting niggers in here. And I froze my right hand. It was a white club. It wasn't a comedy club. It was like one of them one-nighters. You know how they, it was a bar.
Wow.
So I go, hey, thank you guys very much. Appreciate the time. I was shocked. I didn't know what to do. And I left the stage. So, you know how white people are, which is cool. A bunch of them come over to you. Hey, this is not what we're about, guy. You know what I'm saying? we don't, this is not, yeah.
He didn't speak for the group.
I swear I have
We like
friends.
you.
Yeah. So, it was like, this is not what we're about and all that. So I said, it's okay. So I was at this side. I was at this end of the bar. It was the white boy, and the white boy was down there with his girlfriend, the same dude. So he just yelled out again. He said, I don't believe they're letting blacks. I don't believe they're letting niggers up in here. And I just walked over to him. I said, yo, why gotta be black? Why gotta be a nigga? He said, I guess he didn't know I boxed. And he had a little size on. And I'm talking about I hit this motherfucker with a perfect 1-2, and I bust his whole mouth open. And his girlfriend said, what's your name? What? And I was low because I was already gone.
Right.
She was about to catch
coming at me.
No, she was about to get it. It wasn't even, she was right there, and I was going to hit her. And the bouncer said, don't do it, man. Don't do it. So I said, I got myself back together, grabbed my stuff, went outside, and when I got outside, the car was probably about 30 feet from the bar. So I was getting in, I yelled back and told the guy, I said, tell the promoter to get my money too. Like that, right? Like I'm going to get paid. So the bouncer said, hey man, come on man, you ain't gonna come in, man, come in. And see, I'm from Philly. I got spider senses. I said, fuck that. So I got my car and I drove across the street, like across the freeway. And 5 minutes later, 8 cop cars pulled up.
Good for you.
Oh, they was gonna get me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and my late uncle told me, he said, look, Dan, you're doing comedy. You can't be beating people up on the stage.
No.
So
Well, the way I see it is like what happened in Boston was resolved in that moment.
yeah, so that was one situation. And then the other one was I had a situation in L.A. where, I won't mention the club, but a guy tried to come on stage. And
What's up with that?
And it was a black dude. He was drunk. He tried to come on stage. And when he put his foot up on that first chair, he lift himself up and put his foot on the stage, I gave him one of them football blocks, and I pushed him like that, and his feet went flying. And then I jumped off the stage. I was ready to fight him, and then people grabbed me, but I don't play that shit.
Whoa.
So just so you know, if you see him, you better sit your ass down.
No, you know what? And I'm going to tell your fans this, and I tell my people this. I don't claim I can beat everybody, because you
but
can't.
You're going to give him a hell of a
I ain't a
whooping.
killer, but don't push me.
But for a minute and a half,
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
some shit on your hands.
No, and I can relate to that, because I remember my one serious fight in like middle school. I'd never been in a fight or whatever. I just didn't have that demeanor about me. But man, when this dude came at me, I redlined. So I feel you, where it's just kind of like, it showed me a side that I was like, I didn't know that was in me, but it's like, don't.
You know what I always tell people?
Don't mess with me.
It's like this. Have you ever seen the movie Penitentiary?
Yeah, was that the old one with your boy who
Isaac
dated
Kennedy?
Yeah.
Jane, Okay,
Jane
there
Kennedy's
was a scene in there.
husband.
There's a part in there that's always true. When he first went to prison, he was getting raped by his cellmate. He was getting abused by his cellmate the whole time. So while he was in prison, he took up boxing. And the first time he got in the boxing ring, he got in there and he got knocked out. Right? Mm-hmm. And when he got knocked out, when they woke him up, he goes, what happened? What happened? He's like, you got knocked out. He said, I got knocked out? And he go, yeah. And he started cheering. He's like, I got knocked out? He got real happy. Because the point was, the worst thing that could happen to him was
Was
he get
over.
knocked the fuck
I love
out.
that.
And he went back
Once
into
you
the
get
cell
that out of the
and
way.
he beat the shit out that dude.
I like
And
that
that's so
story.
that's always been my motto.
But in saying that, it's like so interesting because, you know, like you're talking about your degrees and what you did and how, you know, like boxing. Well,
And I
that
graduated
makes
with a
sense to me.
3.2 grade point average, by the way, too.
Dude, that's awesome.
grad school.
And that's like
Just let y'all know.
That's-
I didn't skate
like-
by.
That's just like for anybody,
Yeah,
okay? I
right.
mean, that's respect.
Right.
I mean, because that's a lot of work.
Right.
That's for
That's
grad
serious.
school too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I'm getting is that's how your mother raised you
Yeah.
to be the best that you possibly
Well,
can.
yeah,
be.
yeah. But I was on my own. I lost my mom young.
Right.
I lost my mom at 15. So what happened was, you know, in life you got to, you know, and this is what I try to tell people. Life is full of forks in the road, and you got a decision to make. Now, my brother was a hustler. He was a big-time drug dealer in Philly, and he dealt cocaine, and he did a whole bunch of stuff. And you got a choice. You can go that route, or you can go this route. He never wanted me to do that. So he used to say, man, you know, I better never see you doing this shit. But I was an athlete. I was like, I don't want to do that shit. So I never thought about doing that. And that was the reason that I went the other way.
And that probably, I mean, for as far as like in the club scene, I mean, that can really chew you up and spit you out.
You know what?
Real quick, you don't understand
I'm-
where you got to maintain.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a true story. I'm gonna tell you what happened to me, how I got out here. You remember the comedian Rich Scheidner?
Yes,
White
I
guy?
actually interviewed him.
Yes. Well, Rich Scheidner is the reason that I came to LA when I did.
I'll probably see him and I'll let him know.
Yeah. Well, the story was this: he was playing the Funny Bone in Columbus, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
and I had, as a young comic, you go hang out at the clubs. You know what I mean? So, and I've always been able to get in with people. I could talk. So we talked for about 3 days. He got there on a Wednesday. By Friday, by Saturday, we were partners. Drinking beer and whatever. So Rich was going to let me open up for him that Sunday, the last show, but something happened and I couldn't do it. So anyway, he asked me. He said, "How old are you?" And I told him, I said, "I'm 26 at the time." He said, "You should move to LA." Because I couldn't really tell where I was at in Columbus because I didn't have cable. This is in the 90s. I didn't know about the Def Jam explosion. I didn't know about the black explosion. So, all I saw was white comics.
Yeah.
He said, "How old are you?" And I told him, he said, "You should move to LA." I go, "Why you say that?" He said, "Because you seem mature enough where you're not going to get caught up in the lights." And that was it. And so that's always been my thing. Now, that has rubbed people wrong out here because people take my demeanor being wrong, but I've always been I'm always the kind of person I'm going to go into a situation and I'm going to observe more than jumping in it.
Right, and I can't stress enough, like when you see comedians that do the style of comedy that you do,
Right.
that comedians that actually embellish telling the stories,
Right.
the comedians that don't resolve to tits, ass,
Yeah.
dick,
The base.
Or the same,
Same
someone
different-
else's material just flipping it.
Right.
You
Well,
know?
which is, they say that's very well known
Yeah.
here. And you can tell because, a comedian such as you have to be current.
Yeah.
You have to be able to take what's in the headlines, what's going on with
Right.
the emotion. And also, laughter is a way, because there is something to be said about emotion. When emotions run high.
Right.
Okay? Where you either as a comedian going to be, if you're new,
Right.
you won't know how to approach it.
Yeah. Well, this is what I always say. You can always tell when a comic is on autopilot. And that is, you go to a show and say there's something big happening in the city, this country, or the world, and they don't touch it. They
Right.
just talk about something else. See, me, I can talk about any subject at any time because I've just know how to write like that. Where you go see, I've been to shows and something big will happen in the country, and I'll see 4 comedians go on stage and not one of them touch it because they're on autopilot. They just got their set that they know
This
they
is my
want to
bit.
do,
I've been working
and this
on
is
it.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
You did some TV too.
I've
correct?
done Comic View. I've done I was one of my I guess my moments in my career would be is I did Comics Unleashed, and when I did that show, I was on the show with Dick Gregory. I was here, Dick Gregory was there, and I held my own. Like I had Dick Gregory cracking up. Like he was like, "Yo, you're pretty funny," because me and Dick Gregory
what
was
a
So
back
cool
and
one.
forth.
for anybody, you got to check this guy out. Obviously, I mean, that's one of the things I said to you earlier. People, you're all spoiled out here in LA. You have the most incredible talent that you can just go to a club. Which you're appearing where?
I perform a lot. I did the Comedy Union this past week. I'm going to be at the Haha on Saturday night.
I always ask comedians, please, hook me up with you on Instagram or
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah,
I want to know
yeah.
where you're going to be. I like to give a shout out. I like to try and make the shows and to appreciate, like I said, that the comedy styles that actually you feel like you've gotten a show.
Yeah.
And there is a lot. What's happened is like they said, there's a lot of melding with bringer shows. Well, you'll have incredible talent, seasoned talent, and then you'll have like.
Well, see, what happens is these bringer shows are bad for the communities that are established because I'm not going to go out there and promote people to bring.
Right.
So what happens is people don't want to put you on the show because I've had people tell me that. Well, you don't bring anybody. Well, but I'm probably funnier than 4 of your comics you're going to have on the show. But they don't care about that. And I don't care. I don't give a fuck about all that. They can do
because
whatever they want to
you've got enough history. What about everyone hates Chris? Yeah.
That was, I was on, let me tell you the story about that. I actually shot the pilot. I booked the show. And Kim Harden, I want to give her a shout out because she, to me, is one of the best casting directors I had. She's the most fair casting director I've dealt with in some cases. And what happened is I booked the show, and I remember being on Paramount lot. Chris Rock was there. I mean, it was big. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And all I could do was like, motherfucker, you made it. You know what I mean? Like, you made it. And I was playing this character called Mr. Corliss, and I was going to be Tashina Arnold's boss. She was going to be coming to work.
Oh, wow.
And at a realtor's office. And what happened was I shot the pilot, and they wind up cutting the character. Yeah, that was probably the first time I really ever got down to L.A. And it was crazy, too, because my buddy, who was a writer, got all of the pilots. So he weeks went by, and he goes, "Hey, Dan," and I go, "What's up?" He said, "Hey, I saw that everybody hates Chris Pilot." I go, "Good. How'd I look? He goes, I ain't see you." And he's a comedian, so I was like, "Stop lying, man. How'd I look?"
Stop messing with me.
"No, I didn't see you." Like, "No, motherfucker, how'd I look?" He's like, "No, motherfucker, I ain't see you."
Oh,
you know what I mean? So I was like, "Oh, shit." Like, I cut.
What a
no lie.
hell of a way to find out.
And no lie. I started seeing promotions on the buses 2 weeks later, and then I got a call from Dan Guggen, the producer, and he said, "Hey, I got good news and I got bad news." I already knew, and I said, "Well, what's the good news?" I knew. I was like, "What's the good news?" And he's like, "Well, the good news is that the show got picked up, but unfortunately, the bad news is that we cut the character." Wow. Yeah. And then I saw Chris rock out, and I know Chris. I saw Chris at the Laugh Factory, and I went to Chris, and I go, "Chris," he goes, "Hey, what's up, man?" I said, "Chris, and the funny thing about Hollywood and our careers that people make decisions and it doesn't fuck with them at all.
Yeah.
They just go." I was like, "Chris, what happened, man? Why they cut the character?" He goes, he got no Chris. He goes, I don't know. It just kind of went long. I don't know. I'm not really sure what we did, but we just had to cut the character. And I was like, okay, see you later, Dan. And it's like that quick, it's like.
But and do you like? You have to learn how to roll with that.
You got to.
Well, like you said, knowing yourself before you get out here.
Yeah.
Because that would destroy a lot of people who weren't strong enough mentally. And because all you had to do was say, "I'm going to be on," and you've made it, right? And then all of a sudden it's like gone.
Let me tell you
but that persistence, because you ended up being on the show, though.
Well, no, what happened was I did 4 episodes of Everybody Hates Chris. Hold that question one quick. But I have another. But the crazy thing is, just to go to what you were saying. Think about how you feel when you you come home from shooting a pilot, and then you start going out, and a week later, your name is in the Wall Street Journal. I think it's the Wall Street Journal, one of the papers in New York, where they put all of the names of all of the people that are going to be on the show. And now you got people saying, "Yo, I read your name," and you like. You thinking like, okay, I'm about to move out this motherfucking apartment. You know what I mean? Like, I'm about to get about this bitch. You know what I mean?
Go get some shit.
I'm about to go shopping. You know what I mean? And then I didn't get it. And then one last thing, and then you got to answer me the question. I was up for another show. That's a Raven.
Yeah.
And I made it to network on that one, and to play her dad, which me, Lamont Johnson, and Rondell Sheridan were up for it. Rondell got it.
Got it. Yeah.
But the funny story about that was we went up there. When you go to network, you go in there and they got to give you your contract. Before you go test, you sign your contract. So I'm looking down. I'm going, oh shit! I'm starting off $7,500 a week on Disney.
What?
I'm like, I signed that motherfucker quick. Like, you know what I mean? I might have signed with both hands. You know what I mean?
Roller pen.
Yeah. And. But Rondell wasn't there, and me and Lamont was in there, and they were going back. We was in there for like maybe 2 hours. They would switch me, put in Lamont, switch the girl, put like 3, 4. They're going back and forth. And then Rondell came in late, and me and Lamont said, "Why the fuck he coming late?" And we go, "We ain't getting this motherfucker." And then they said, "We'll know in like a week." And what happened was, the week that we were supposed to find out, 9/11 hit.
Oh.
And then everything got pushed back, right? Yeah. It was right around the time. I'll never forget it. And then 2 weeks went by, And we didn't hear nothing. I'm like, and people kept saying, and I didn't tell nobody for the first week. Then I started telling people, you tell people at church, how black people at church are. You got it, brother. Don't worry about it. Got it, brother. Claim it.
What's for you is for you.
Yeah. That's black people's favorite line. You got it. Claim it. I said, man, I hope I get it. Don't say you hope. Just know you got it.
You already know. Yeah.
God is good. Now I'm going home thinking like, maybe I got this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Man. So 2 weeks went by, and I didn't hear anything. And then finally I called my agent, like, what the fuck is going on? I said, hey, did you guys hear anything about whether I got the show or not? And my agent goes, oh, we forgot to call you. Yeah, you didn't get it. Like, I'm like, what? The fuck?
So life-changing
that's
stuff
here.
Yeah.
So for your week of heart, LA ain't for you.
Yeah,
because that would take a lot of people out.
So I have a person on Facebook, Jabari.
Oh, Jabari!
He says, what made him stay doing comedy no matter how many financial struggles?
You know what it was? Be honest with you.
So I guess we'll restate that because I don't know if they can hear on our feed. But, so the question is, why did you stay in LA during those financial struggles too?
And the problem
to keep working through it.
Well, it was like this is what happened. I got a master's degree in computer animation. I didn't follow through with it. 2-time Golden Gloves champ. Didn't follow through with it. I could have got a scholarship to go for track in high school, a partial scholarship. Didn't go through with it. So I kept saying everything I would. I actually had a little self-doubt in my life. I think because what it was I always tell people, it's like that movie. What was the movie with George Clooney? Oh, The Perfect Storm.
Yeah.
You know how you got the boat and the boat got to the top, like it was about to make it out, and right when it got to the top, when they saw the sun, then the boat just didn't go, and it's always been like that with me. Like I would always get to the top, and then I would feel a little resistance, and then I'd be like, "Fuck it," you know what I mean? Like, because I could have been a good fighter, and then I had my degree, so I kept saying I can't give up on this. You know what I mean? Because if I give up on this, what the fuck am I going to do? You know what I mean? So I stuck in the game.
Yeah, and it's a hard game because it isn't the from what you're telling me, it's those moments where you've got it and then you lose it, and then you have to keep a mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have a stamina mentally.
Yeah. Well,
like no other.
Because you don't make a lot of money necessarily doing the stand-up in LA.
No,
like
you don't.
It's from,
I've done some road,
TV shows,
but I've gotten commercials.
Movies. Yeah.
But see, the thing about it, there's been times I've gone home early in my career, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I don't need to do this. And I couldn't understand. When I first got into entertainment, I didn't understand what would make a person want to pay somebody millions of dollars. And then as I got deeper in the game, it was that personality. It was something that people took a liking to you, and you touched their life. And then I was starting to say, okay. And what happened was, it was an incident. I'll never forget the story. What happened was, what changed my career with the stand-up was, obviously when you guys hear me talk, if you listen to my comedy, when I get excited, my voice goes high. So what happened was, I was at a show one night at the Old Comedy Act Theater, and I was performing, and my voice started going high. And then when I got off stage, I had everybody start laughing, and I had some hater comics in the back, and Chris Tucker was there. So it was Chris Tucker and 2 other comics, and the other comics sitting in front of Chris Tucker, he said, "Oh, you trying to be Chris Tucker?" So I was like, "What?" I mean, Chris Tucker was real cool. And I said, "No, I'm not." And then I asked Chris, and Chris was like, "Man, just do your stuff. Do your style." So we kind of had a little friction at first. So then it got to the point where I was going on stage with a deep voice. Like, I was changing my voice because I didn't want nobody to think I was trying to be like Chris. Yeah. So I was going there, so anyway, you guys, and I was like, and then one day I said, I can't worry about what the fuck people think. Yeah. I got to be who I am. And that's when it changed. Yeah.
Well, we happy, man, that you did that.
Yeah. And me and Chris was cool now, but it was crazy at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be around, you also have maintained the fact that being around people that have taken off. I mean, we had Naeem. Naeem.
Yeah, I know Naeem.
And he was on the show, and one of the things that I was very careful to I talked briefly about Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Because I watched all his interviews, and they would just, "Hi, we're glad you're our guest, but tell us all about Kevin Hart."
Right.
And he said that he appreciated that.
Yeah.
And I said it must be difficult when you're that close, because people kept saying, "Well, he made it. Why isn't he doing anything for you?" And he's like, "He is." I mean,
No, one thing I'm gonna say about Kevin, outside all his little problems he having now, which we all got some comics have their problems, whatever situation may be, but Kevin Hart is he's one of the most downest, and to me, he's done more for some comedians in the little
Right.
short time that he's been successful, then I've seen comics with bigger names, same color, that had this shit for people.
Yeah, from
and
what I
actors.
understand, he's known for his generosity. He's
Man,
been-
yeah.
he-
Look,
Well, I
all-
think
all
she's
his boys are
also-
eating. All his boys are
Right.
eating.
I think she's also touching on like, but being so close to all of that,
Well,
Right.
the thing was, I was down
like
with
you
the
said,
comedian.
knowing Chris Rock, or
Right.
knowing-
Well, the thing is, you have to be an individual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I had the same situation happen with me. I used to hang with a Guy Tori. Guy Tori, me and him were real cool. And when Guy and I both came up, Guy wasn't a star, I wasn't a star. You know what I mean? And Guy started blowing up. And then people would just start getting jealous of me. Because I used to host Guy Tori and I started Fat Tuesday, which was,
Oh, wow.
at
Oh,
the
yeah.
time, was the #1 comedy club,
Right.
number one comedy night in the country.
Wow.
I was with Guy when we started. Guy called me up one day and said, "Yo, damn, think about having a comedy night." He said, "Yo, you want to be down, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, shit, come on." We was always partners. And I went with Guy to every mall in Southern California here. We went to every mall, passed out flyers. We did all the
All the
footwork.
legwork, yeah.
So people don't know that. People just think that I was
The
Guy's
hard
boy.
work,
And
yeah.
we put in some work. People started getting jealous of me and stuff like that because when Guy was going when Guy was going on the road, or when Guy started shooting movies, I was in charge of Fat Tuesday. So then people was, hating. And what happened was, I'll tell you a true story. I was doing a gig with Spanky Hayes, comedian Spanky, from Detroit. And so I had to go pick Spanky up. He didn't have a car, so I picked Spanky up. And we were driving to the show. And we were talking, having a good time and shit. And then Spanky out of nowhere goes, "Damn, man, you cool as shit." I'm like, "Where the fuck that come from?" You know what I mean? Like, I said, "Well, what's up?" He said, "Man, because motherfuckers be in the
what
back."
I had heard.
Yeah. But he said people be in the back. When I used to be hosting Fat Tuesday, be back there hating, talk about, man, he only doing it because he got, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff I had to deal with.
You do realize though that with what is this industry, it's like all the demons.
Yeah.
All the demons come
Yeah.
in this package.
Yeah, and that's why it takes someone like myself longer to
Right.
make it, because I don't get caught up in that. See,
Right.
I know I can act. I know I'm funny. When I did Real Husbands of Hollywood, everybody just that was just an episode everybody loved. I mean, and they were just like, "Yo, you were funny as hell on that." And I got a chance to go right in. It was me and Kevin Hart and Nelly and Boris. We was at the table. I made the poker table, and I held my own all through the whole episode. You know what I mean? So you already know that, and that's what I'm saying. What happens is it comes a point when you have to be like, fuck everybody. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what people think, and I don't. You know what I mean? Because I know that I'm trying to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying?
And is that what led you to? Because I know you do a little bit more even behind the scenes, whether it's producing.
I'm
or
writing.
a
I'm
little
doing a lot of writing
yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Do you take young comedians? Like I don't know, and they must seek you out. I mean, I would want
They
advice.
seek me out. I don't carry.
What-
I don't have nobody roll with me. But if you
Right,
ask me any
'cause-
question or anything, I always give advice out.
Right, and I would ask, for advice and things like that. We as far as like being someone in the audience and watching you guys, and
Right.
and if I said, "Oh, I want to be a comedian," would you embrace someone?
I
and
did.
tell-
You know what? I had a female comic tell me. I had a female comic, black female comic, at the Laugh Factory one night, and she goes, "I just moved in town from, I forgot what she told me. I think she was Oakland or something like that. Cute girl." And she goes, "Do you have any advice for, stand up?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Let me give you your first advice. Don't fuck any comics." First
Good
thing,
advice.
I give
and the
that
first
same
thing, and the
advice
first
to
thing she
my
said
female
was,
comics.
the first thing she said, "I don't know about all that." So she, you know what I mean? She just, you got to get, when you talk to people, you got to hope they want to listen to you, And I always tell people, right. One of the things I learned in comedy, I learned it from Alex Thomas and Daryl Heath. And what happened was, because I wrote so much, people never got to know me for a joke. And then Alex Thomas said, "Dan, you got funny shit, but because every week I was coming back." And let me tell you the story before we wrap up. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, how I got into comedy deeply from Ohio. But every week I was coming back and doing different material. And Alex said, "You have to get known for a joke so that people will say, 'Oh, that's the dude that did that joke about the cops,'
Sure,
and something like that." So, right, what happened to me in college was at Ohio State. This is how it happened. When the first time I went on stage, I got second place in a comedy competition. Okay, so I was like, okay, I'm kind of funny. Then they had this competition in Columbus called Funniest Person in Ohio. And it was a 6-week competition. And if whoever won it would get to tour the southern part of Ohio. And you do like little one-nighters, getting 40 here, 50 here. Now you figure 91, 92, $40, $50, that shit. You
Yeah,
fill your
it
gas
add
tank
up.
up and you get something to eat. Okay, so real quick. So what happened was, it was a 6-week competition. and I won it. And so at the bar, it was at this bar. So these white ladies came up to me and they go, "You know why you won?" Because the audience kept picking. They said, because every week you came back, you had a different story. We like, what the fuck is he gonna talk about this week? And that's how I won.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much.
Very Carlin-esque, because he would always read.
Change it
Yes.
Man, I'm so glad you came on the show. Sincerely, I really appreciate. They want to do what?
Be sure to let us know
Oh,
on
yeah.
your
How to find
socials.
you.
Hey, if you guys, whoever's on, I don't know how many people you have, so I hope to get about 500 people, their friends, follow me on Instagram. That's Dan and Green 66, and then Facebook, Dan and Green. I don't do tweet. I don't really tweet, but it's comedian Dan and Green as a.
Well, I can tell you
tweet.
with certainty, brother. You got at least 5.
Okay, cool. That's that's 4 here. Yeah, at least 5.
Hey, he might be up in Boston.
Yeah.
A lot of my people aren't going to see this till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you
And-
Bostonians
people
who
may
want to
not
make
like
it.
me. They don't like me in
all you
Boston.
Bostonians who want to make it up to him for
Right.
how shitty
I
y'all
know
were in
this
the 80s and
Bostonian did.
90s.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Go ahead and
Yeah.
follow this
Right.
brother.
Hopefully give it another chance.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me on the show.
Appreciate it.
Somebody on Instagram just wanted to know, do you have any projects coming up that you're working on?
Right now, I have 5 screenplays. I had one in I'm trying to get my finance right now. I'm trying to get finance for one of my screenplays.
Okay.
So I write. That's what I do.
So if anybody that's listening that might want to invest, how can can you shout them out your email?
Yeah, well, they can email me at green. My name, just reverse my name. My email is easy. greendannon@yahoo.com. But only serious people, because I know if you bullshitting. I already know that. And
Don't bother with that.
And that's the big thing.
No,
right
don't
now.
nickel and dime my boy.
Don't end up in the spam.
That's
filter.
it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
I
Tune in
appreciate you
next
guys.
week, you guys. Hopefully, we'll be back here, God willing, and we'll be tormenting the next person in that chair.